Hello and welcome to Backstage Buzz at the MAC, where you get the inside story on the art scene right from the directors and creators themselves. I'm Diana Martinez, and I am pleased to welcome some great guests to the show. Later on, we'll hear from the MAC's resident costume designer, Kim Morris. She's going to talk to you all about the incredible work she's doing for the upcoming Frida Kahlo 2020 exhibition. She'll give us a sneak preview of her part of the exhibition that we cannot wait for you to come and see next summer. But first, I am so happy to welcome Ron May. Ron is the director of Buffalo Theatre Ensemble's first show of the season, Holmes and Watson, and he's here to give us a scoop on the show. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
So, this is a murder mystery.
Yeah.
So my first question is, who did it?
It's not so much a who done it as a who is it.
Okay.
At the very beginning of the show, the show takes place 3 years after Holmes died at Reichenbach. And Watson gets a call from a doctor who runs an insane asylum on a remote island and says that I have 3 patients here, all of whom claim to be Sherlock Holmes, all of whom have really, really good backup and information, so we need you to come and decide which one is the real Holmes. So Watson goes to the island and hijinks ensues.
Fun. So it's a twisty-turny. You're trying to figure out not who done it, but which one is it?
Yeah.
And is it twisty-turny?
Very. Yeah.
I love that.
Me too.
Are you going to tell us?
No.
No, we have to come see it.
Yep, you got to keep the secrets.
We have to keep the secrets.
Yeah.
So what attracts you to the show, to direct the show?
I was actually not creatively involved, but Arizona Theater Company. I'm from Arizona, and my day job is at Arizona Theater Company. And Holmes and Watson was the last production that our outgoing artistic director, David Ewer Goldstein, directed, and he has a close relationship with Jeffrey Hatcher.
The author.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the playwright. So Connie just called and asked if I would be interested in directing, and I said, of course I would. So.
How exciting.
Yeah.
So you're back in the Chicago area to direct the show for Buffalo Theatre Ensemble, but this is home, right? Mm-hmm. You grew up in the area?
Yeah, I grew up in Lombard.
You did?
Yeah, grew up in Lombard. I am actually an alum of COD. I went to Lombard East, then COD, and yeah, I grew up in this area.
Isn't that awesome? So you've come full circle.
Yeah.
It must be nice to be back as a director now.
It's exciting. I haven't, since I've been to Arizona, I haven't been able to come back for a whole lot of things, and typically when I have, it's been because of some sort of tragedy, because there's been an illness or a family member or something. So coming back for a really exciting reason has been great.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Thanks.
So the show opens and it runs for about 5 weeks. You only have 5 weeks to see it. And I know the pre-sales are strong.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So get your tickets soon if you're going to go look at it. What is, would you say is the biggest challenge you've had directing the show?
I think the biggest challenge, because it's very wordy. I mean, the whole mystery sort of gets shrouded in dropping little clues here and there. And I think with every play, you're always focused on making sure that the actors are understood and that their projection and diction is really good. But with a play that is as intricately plotted as this one is, if an audience misses anything, it would be really easy to get confused. So making sure that all of the really important things land without over stressing them, so it's not really
without an
obvious.
arrow going, pay attention.
Yeah, this is a clue. Yeah. So that's been a big challenge. And also, because it's so well written and so intricately plotted, it's important. I have a number of really, really creative, resourceful actors, and you always want to encourage them to make whatever bold choices they want. But with a show like this, it's important too that they don't start adding things and adding other red herrings that would convolute the story even more.
Right.
So really, really reining everything in and making sure you just stick to the architecture of what the playwright wrote. So yeah, and it's been a lot of fun.
So are you, and you might have just have answered it, are you trying in any places to misdirect the audience?
I don't have to. The playwright has done it all for us.
Okay.
So Yeah, and it's not even so much. It's a play that I know from experience from having seen it in Arizona. It holds up to multiple viewings. You like to think that you're ahead of it, and then by the time it's over, you find out you really weren't. And even people who have some sort of gut instinct and say, I was able to figure it out early on, the reasons behind it and the other twists that happen at the end, they're usually not able to see those. So just about everybody, even if you can figure it out, you'll be surprised by something.
So I saw on Facebook that you had some photos of a fight call. So is it there a lot of physical?
Not a ton. There's enough though. There's it gets pretty heated because all of the people who are saying that they're Holmes, I mean, it's sort of live or die. So they're all willing to fight for Watson to pick
him.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds exciting. So who's in the show that we would know?
There are 3 ensemble members. Kurt Nabig is in it.
Okay.
He's one of the ensemble members, and he plays one of the Holmeses. Robin Coffin is in it, and she plays the matron.
Robin's on Chicago Fire, right?
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah, she's great.
She plays who?
She's the matron. She's one of the, she kind of just helps everything move smoothly.
Okay.
She's very, it's a behind the scenes character, but you can tell that she has a lot of power. And then Norm Waddell, who's also in the ensemble, is the lead. He's playing Watson. Or not, yes, Watson.
Fun.
Yeah, and then we have a number of really incredible community Chicago actors that are filling out the rest of the cast.
That's great. So what are you enjoying most about it? What do you want people to go home when they see the show? What do you want people to leave saying?
I think people will, and I hope that they leave sort of breathless and saying that was way more fun than I expected, and that I was on the edge of my seat a lot more than I expected to be. I think
love that.
It's easy. You hear Sherlock Holmes, and it's sort of, you think of this sort of dusty, and he's in a deerstalker cap, and it's going to be 2 men sitting around a table sort of casually talking about something. But the play is, there's an urgency behind it, you know, and it's a really exciting sort of roller coaster. And it's an exciting play.
So any challenges along the way, or has it been pretty smooth sailing?
For the most part, knock on wood, it's been pretty smooth sailing. There's accents, so the accents are always a little bit tricky because everybody's sort of from the same place. But the other thing, because like I said, making sure that everything is really, really understandable. We also don't want to load the accents so heavily that it's like when you watch Train Spotting and you need subtitles to understand what anyone's saying.
Yes.
So yeah, and sort of keeping the urgency of it going, because when it is a sort of procedural, I think that the tendency is to want to, well, it's just 2 people talking about something. And so infusing everything with the kind of stakes that the play needs to really, really sing has been not necessarily challenging, but it's been probably the biggest core of the work we've been doing.
Well, it sounds like you have a really strong handle on the show. I really look forward to it. I love the twists and turns.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
All right. Well, we will all be looking forward to seeing this, so break a leg.
Thank you.
And we'll all be there to root you on. Get your tickets for Holmes and Watson before they sell out. The show will run September 5th through October 6th in the Playhouse Theater. For tickets or more information, visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. Be sure to get your tickets to these great shows coming to the Mac. Chris Botti is back by popular demand on September 21st. Come see New Philharmonic Orchestra perform one of Beethoven's greatest works, Ode to Joy, on September 28th and 29th. Learn about and celebrate the traditions of Dia de los Muertos with the musical family-friendly adventure Sugar Skull on October 4th. Join us for an evening with the Bodines on October 5th. Don't forget to get your tickets for our season kickoff pre-show party. The Kingdom Choir, who had an unforgettable performance during Harry and Meghan's royal wedding, will be at the Mac on October 6th. The spellbinding illusionist Reza will be here with the show Edge of Illusion on October 11th. On October 12th, come enjoy an evening with Branford Marsalis. For tickets and more information on these shows, visit atthemac.org or call 630-942-4000. You may already know that our incredible costume designer is busy all year long creating pieces for College of DuPage Theater Department, Dance, and Buffalo Theatre Ensemble. What you might not know is that she's also contributing to the upcoming Frida Kahlo 2020 exhibition. Here to give you a little sneak peek of what she's been busy working on for that project is Kim Morris. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
So thank you for coming. And when I saw I went into the costume shop and I saw what you're doing. I was like crazy. I just was so inspired. And I said, you have to come on the show and show everybody. and first I want to talk about this, because this is so crazy. And for you watching, you might look at this and go, oh, they went out and bought a Frida mannequin. Well, there's no such thing. Kim made this head after quite a few trial and errors. So can you talk a little bit about how you made this?
Sure. So the mannequin itself is actually just a mannequin we purchased on Amazon. Then we have spent a lot of time trying to figure out what we wanted to do with the head.
Right.
And 6 months ago or so, I found an artist who had created a bust, so head and shoulders of Frida Kahlo. About 4 years ago, she just uploaded this 3D file, and it's a free to print, free to print, not free to print, file that we printed in our 3D printer. It was not the right size, and I think we have done about 6 versions until I found...
So can you tell them about, okay, so this is why I'm so excited, right? Because you see all the different versions,
Yes.
like the Lego head. It looks like her face was made out of Legos. And it's like, well, that's not quite right.
No, it wasn't. So the file I started using had her shoulders, and when you print that file with her shoulders, it ends up a child-size head, which did not work on this mannequin. And there's a website out there called Thingiverse that has a free file editing software that turns it all into cubes. And I never realized it turned it into cubes because everything I used it before was already angular. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that it modified the file into tiny cubes that make it super easy to edit. It was very easy to edit, and what you ended up with was Lego Frida, who is sitting in the shop right now, which doesn't look at all like her, and it's fun and it's unique, but it didn't
not
work.
right.
No. So what finally happened is the same artist who created the bust was also working on an articulated Frida doll. So she has a file to print a little like Barbie doll size Frida that comes with a head that is separate. So I was able to print her head, and now she's on a neck, so we can actually articulate the head and have it look in different directions and give her a lot more presence and humanity than just a canvas head or a
Right.
blank mannequin head would do. So we're very happy to find that file, and she prints beautifully.
She does. So I want to back up for our audience. So we have this Frida 2020 exhibition with 26 pieces of original Frida Kahlo art. Mm-hmm. There's also 150 photographs. But when you walk into the Art Center, we're transforming the Art Center into quite an experience. You'll start with a historical timeline, and that's where your pieces will be. Mm-hmm. And these are reproductions of her clothing. And there'll be 5 dresses because she was quite a fashion icon. Then there's a children's area. There's a Frida Kahlo garden that Ball Seed is going to design that's going to be spectacular. And then the children's area, gift shop, concessions. So it'll be quite an experience. But I want to go back to the timeline where your pieces are going to be. And this isn't done, mm-hmm. right? So I think we need to make sure everybody knows this is a work in progress that I asked you to please share. Mm-hmm. And I wanted people to understand the amount of meticulous dedication that's going into this, right? To make sure everything is accurate historically, the fabric. I don't know if you can all see her belt, but that is hand woven to try to get to. Can you show the picture? So this is the picture we're after. And you're not finished with the top. We're in the midst,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the skirt is pretty spot on, mm-hmm. as you can see. Let's talk a little bit about all this handwork that they did, and how are you going to do this?
Okay.
Because all that's going to go here and on the sleeves.
Right. So we started with obviously the dress we wanted to replicate, and we chose 5 based on the ones that we thought would make a really pretty display of 5 unique different looks, because she, like you said, she had an amazing sense of fashion, and they were all different and unique. And so we love this blouse and this whole outfit. Like the lime green skirt is just so eye-catching, and the blouse is beautifully beaded. And I first started off trying to see if I could buy anything similar, just say if I could save a little time. You can't buy this blouse anywhere. They don't. It was a Mexican style from a particular location in Mexico, and they don't sell it, at least not anywhere that I could find. So what we did is a lot of research trying to find a version of this blouse that is a close-up and laying flat, so we could see what was going on. My assistant created a mock-up of the dress, of the blouse, which is what you see here. So it was. I first did a scale with scale rulers and centimeters, and trying to figure out about how large each element would be before she took it to fabric. And so this has actually been blown up from a book, so it's each centimeter equals 2 inches, so that I could easily go, oh, well, that's 9 inches long. And then we discovered I wasn't quite right, which is not surprising considering I'm not looking at something flat, and I'm guessing based off of Frida's height, how tall is this dress? So that was super fun. But then Gretchen created this mock-up, and from that, I then went to sketch out each part. So this sketch is going to be the embroidery that lives on the side and the sleeves of the blouse.
So I'm going to hold this up. Are we talking about this here?
Correct. So it's this part and the sleeves. And then we have an embroidery machine that once I took it into color, so I took that into, actually, yes, this is it. So this is part of this embroidery, so a very small part, that was colored in a...
So then you colored in.
Colored in.
And then you put it into a program?
I take it to a stitch program, so it takes the colored, basically the color drawing, and turn it into stitches that I loaded into my embroidery machine. And I have a finite amount of space in each of my hoops, so we actually took this part, and it's only half of the sleeve, and so when it's doubled, this turns into this double band on the sleeve.
So this is going to eventually be this.
Yeah, so it ends up to be the bottom part of her sleeve.
What's pretty fascinating is we're working on a dress from the 1910s, 20s, right? And the technology that you're using in today to get to what they did by hand is quite a few steps.
It is.
It almost might have been, I mean, it's pretty amazing how intricate this was to be done by hand. But what's also amazing is that a 3D printer made this. And that you can program now this.
A sewing machine to do hand
although
embroidery.
You have to draw it and make it and stencil it, and it's not all that easy. But it does save some time, but yet not that much time. It's been a lot of work.
It is, but it allows me to, like, I only had to draw a quarter of the sleeve.
Right.
So I drew 1/4 of the sleeve, flipped it over, and then I can print that twice, stitch it out twice. So I don't have to try to replicate each sleeve by doing it by hand. And I can do something else while the machine is going.
It's pretty impressive.
It's really impressive. The college has given me great tools to work with, and it would have been a lot more difficult had I had to do this by hand.
Oh my gosh.
This is so much fun.
We need 4 more people.
We need 4 more people and a lot more time. But this allows me to incorporate technology into art.
Well, what I think is just fascinating about this is you have to be super techie now to make costumes. You know, the work you went through to make this head, and learning the program and the software, and working with a dean who helped you, and and working with a 3D printer and trying to figure it out, and the trials and the errors. In one respect, I wish we were in the costume shop so everybody could see the funny heads too, you know, and what came out. But really, when you talk about STEM, I'm like, try STEAM. You can't do arts anymore without some sense of technology.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and we get to play with a lot of it.
It's amazing.
This exhibit particularly, not only do we get to use a 3D printer and my embroidery machine, we also get to print our own fabric. So
let's talk about that. So I have a sample here.
So one of the other outfits we're doing is this beautiful, I love this. It's velvet, and it's got this gorgeous fabric up here that didn't exist anywhere. I couldn't buy it. I probably wasted 10 or 12 hours searching or more trying to find this fabric. So I actually found a picture where I could isolate one leaf and then replicate it. So I ended up replicating that leaf 5 times, replicating that to be a panel, and then send this panel off to a great company that shipped me back this gorgeous fabric.
Wow.
And
So they printed
it on whatever fabric that I wanted. Yeah.
So you wanted the chiffon-y, soft.
Yep. And it will have a nice translucent effect when it's under lights and on a body, and it has the right drape. Because all I have the information on this is, hey, isn't that a pretty yellow blouse? So, and then one of my stitchers, Dunya Chaychik, is brilliant, and she did a mock-up of this whole blouse and then put this all together with the fabric that I bought for her. So it was super fun, but also meticulous.
It will take a while. You know, it's funny because what I think is interesting about her sense of fashion is I would not put this with this. And I would not put this blue zigzag with a yellow.
Right.
But when you see the outfit, it's incredible.
It goes.
It all works, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing. Are you enjoying this?
Oh, I am. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more work than I thought it would be. I was hoping to be able to buy some pieces, and I can't.
There's no Frida store.
No Frida store, and the stuff that's Frida is, it's not her quality, it's not her character.
Right.
She took these elements that were so close to her personally, like, because it was part of her culture and part of her, just the love of the look she created. And so everything that is manufactured for Americans to buy, or even tourists down in Mexico, is
kind of cheesy.
It's cheesy, and it's just not right, and it won't create the style of Frida if I tried to do it. And the dresses that the museums have, or the outfits the museums have put together by her huge collection of clothing, are lovely. And so we're replicating that. And we're not trying to be perfect. Okay, I am trying to be perfect. We won't be perfect, but it's going to look pretty good. And
I think it looks incredible. And keep in mind, this is in works. But I think it's so exciting to see the process, right? So that when everybody comes to the exhibit, I want them to see all the work that went involved into this and how much you've dedicated. And I can't thank you enough. You're doing a phenomenal job.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely phenomenal. It's so stunning and it's exciting. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Break a leg. We'll keep going. I can't wait till the opening. To see Kim's finished products and experience everything in this incredible exhibition, including 26 original Kahlo works, a comprehensive historical timeline, a photo gallery, a poetry garden, a concession area, and more, come and visit us next summer. There will be $35 untimed tickets that are available now, online or at the box office. And in December, we're going to put on $20 tickets that will go on sale for a specific time entry ticket. For more information, please visit frida2020.org. We recently shared our excitement for Frida Kahlo with the community at an event that featured muralist Juan Chauk in partnership with the National Museum of Mexican Art and the Mexican Cultural Center DuPage. We were fortunate enough to host Juan, who came from Mexico, to create these stunning pieces inspired by the work of Frida Kahlo. Take a look. What we're doing is we are unveiling this amazing installation of public art that Juan Chauk did for us. It's a collaboration between the Mexican Cultural Center in DuPage, the National Mexican Museum of Art in Chicago, and us. And we are so eternally grateful for this collaboration and this opportunity to bring in this amazing artist and his interpretation of what Frida's works mean to him. So what he did was he took each letter, which represents a different painting, And each painting, what he did was he didn't just try to copy the painting, he tried to find what he felt was the impetus to Frida and bring that out. His work has a lot of heart behind it and a lot of sentiment, and he's from Mexico.
Pues lo más importante que recalca Frida es su circunstancia personal, sus dificultades, su dolor, su sufrimiento, pero al mismo tiempo sacó su alegría, su convivencia con sus animalitos. Y entonces dice que pinta flores para que nunca mueran.
I feel Frida 2020 is a game changer for DuPage County. We're expecting tens of thousands of people who can enjoy this amazing art exhibit, but also it just puts DuPage County on the map as one of the destinations that really appreciates art and it has so many other things to do as a destination.
I think what's so exciting is that the more you learn about Frida Kahlo, you learn that she brought people together, and also she was so influenced and such a big supporter of Mexican art and Mexican artists, whether it's folk artists or other artists, her contemporaries of the time. So the fact that we're using this opportunity for this amazing exhibition to collaborate with Juan to create an original work that will be on display outside of the Mackinac Art Center during Frida 2020 is just really exciting.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz.